everybody. Today I'm with Vaidya Ismat Nathani, who is the founder and director of CAISH, the Center for Ayurveda and Indian Systems of Healing. And Dr. Nathani has so much knowledge when it comes to women's health and to the energetic healing modality of Nadi Vigyan, which is the Mama therapy. And today I'm really, really grateful to be spending some time with Dr. Nathani to discuss Mama therapy and also to have a conversation about women's health and some food and lifestyle practices that are going to be really nourishing for looking after our womb and our overall well-being as women. So,
thank you, Lorien. Thank you for having me share this wonderful knowledge. And as far as I can reach out to people, that's amazing through whatever medium it is. And so namaste everyone, namaste. And yes, Nadi Marma, what Lorien spoke about, is a very specialized understanding under the umbrella of the Vedic sciences. It falls in the learning and studies of Ayurveda, but it also falls in the learning and studies of yoga. So it's basically a bridge between Ayurveda and yoga, and often it's called as the higher bridge to consciousness, where it takes you a little bit into a deeper level than your physical bodies. Just to give a brief introduction of nadis.
Yeah, like how would you describe
what nadis
are, if someone's never heard of them?
Right. So nadis are the simple explanation, and that can directly translate into English, are the channels of the body. So nadis are considered as the channels of the body, which are also called as srotas in Ayurveda. But nadis are a combination or network of channels that connect the physical body or the physical channels to the subtle energetic systems. So in the scriptures or in the Indian ancient texts or Vedic texts, nadis are basically mentioned as the river with its tributaries. So that means there's one big channel and then it has a lot of its tributaries. And these channels are considered approximately 72,000 in numbers. And the total length in our body, or the capacity that we have to hold these channels in the body, is thrice the circumference of the earth.
That's incredible.
It is.
There's so much beyond this physical, what we see.
That's right.
So much. That's amazing.
That's right.
It's kind of like little streams coming off a big river.
That's right.
In a sense.
That's right. And the big rivers are your physical channels, like your gastrointestinal tract. It could be your spinal cord. It could be your arteries. It could be your veins, your capillaries. And then through them comes out are the tributaries that are like the subtle energy systems.
Okay.
So that is nadis in a nutshell.
Okay.
And what flows through these subtle nadis is the chi energy or prana. And what flows through the physical channels could be food, could be water, could be blood, could be lymphatics, whatever the channels are connected to, that's what flows in the physical channels. And subtle are the pranas.
Okay. Beautiful. So why is Mama therapy important as part of Ayurvedic medicine for treatment and for just general well-being and balance? Yes. Why would somebody want to look at having some Mama treatment or doing it on themselves?
Right, that's also another interesting question. Mamas have always been part of Ayurveda. It's through what has happened in the history of Ayurvedic medicine. A lot of touch therapies at some point were not so encouraged. They were discouraged. People were disqualified for practicing physical therapy. So where Ayurvedic medicine remained was at the herbal level. But if we look back and date it back into the scriptures and ancient scriptures, even with the two fathers of Ayurveda, Sushruta and Charaka. And Sushruta, who is the father of Ayurvedic surgery, mentions about the marma points and the importance in surgery. That means if these specific points in the body for some reason get injured, either through external injury or even while performing surgery, it can be fatal to the body.
The major energy centers,
That's
vital
right.
energy points.
Vital energy points.
Yeah.
And there are energy points. Ayurvedic medicine and surgery looks more into the physical aspects of the marmas, where the 7 tissues of the body, they have the 7 channels, and these 7 channels, they have an intersection point, which are the marma points. From the energetics, these marma points are considered as an intersection to the mind, body, spirit, and senses.
Okay.
So whether you do an energetic work on the marmas or you physically treat them with certain oils and herbs or through surgery, they are considered to be important.
Okay.
In Nadi Marma, it is bridging that, as I said, the physical care with the subtle energetics. So while you're doing the physical care, you're also making sure that the energetic flow
It's happening
remains.
properly, so
That's
there's
right.
a flow of
There's
the energy.
enrichment.
No blockages, no dams.
No dams, no blockages, and the
Yeah.
enrichment continues even for the dosha balances.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons you want to consider marma, and which we find is very, very helpful, is where basically herbs do not work. That means a weaker
Right.
digestive system, a body does not have a strength. Nutritionally, sometimes people are depleted. There are certain parts of the world where nutrition is also a big challenge. It's not easy to get food, to buy herbs. And this is something that you can do it on yourself. It is a very eco-friendly and very economical
Yeah. Almost
Um,
self-healing.
self-healing.
Yeah, and that makes me just think of how there's many ways to be nourished.
That's
So
right.
we often think about nourishment just what I eat or what I drink, but nourishment is on so many levels, and so through physical touch we
That's
can
right.
create sweetness.
That's
And so
right.
this is really like, I suppose, a very complementary lifestyle practice for nourishing the body, and the energetic body is, I think, where this comes in, isn't
That's
it?
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
in that subtle way.
So talking about food.
Yeah, I
So
love
this
talking
is-
about food.
yes. So food, here when we're talking the subtle energy system, food here could be your emotions, food here could be your thought, food could be the touch, food could be the sunlight directly coming on these energetic points, fresh air, the elements and the interaction, this all becomes food.
Yes.
When we are talking just about the physical body and the food converting into energy, here we are talking about energy converting into food.
Got it. Yes.
Got it?
Yes, that's great.
When you're ingesting food, the food becomes energy.
Yes. Or you can create the energy that nourishes you
That's
as
right.
the food, like you just said.
Exactly.
That's such a beautiful distinction on that nourishment from a holistic perspective on both sides.
That's
I
right.
love that. So I would love to ask you, what is the most beneficial practice for a woman to do for her balance overall as somebody who gives life, who prepares things, who has that creative energy inside? What is something that would be really like a practice that could be really amazing for women to start to embody and take on with this concept of the energetic nourishment and the physical nourishment?
For women specifically, and I always say this, that emotion is very, very important, because women are bound with emotions, they connect with emotions, and at some level they operate from emotions as well. So emotional health is extremely, extremely important in women. For general care, regardless of genders, regardless of ages, regardless of what part of the world you come from, what is important is the digestion. So digestion is number one, and that goes for women as well, per se, to make sure that the digestion is in a good place, because that helps with the biorhythm of the body. And if the biorhythm of the body is good, then nutritionally they are getting all the physical food that we just spoke about. Talking about the emotional health, and where it connects with the women is with the womb, with the uterus. So beside the emotional health, what is also important is nurturing this area of the body, either through yoga asanas, either supporting it in a way with proper clothings, or by taking certain herbs, certain elements from the nature. Like, for example, flowers. Flowers are extraordinary for women and women health. Not that they're not good for male or other genders, but specifically for nurturing that womb, and for the procreation and production, and also the environment of the womb is very, very important to be maintained. The use of flowers, specifically the lotus, the lang langs, the rose, the jasmine, these are extraordinary for women, balancing emotions, creating a good environment in the womb, and that has an overall impact on the way we can tie our mind and spirit and senses, and also body with the emotions.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love it. So much intelligence in nature that can be received in this
Nature is
science.
intelligent.
Yeah.
We are just researching and researching the fact.
That already exists.
That's right.
Yeah.
But nature has it all, and that's what Ayurveda is about, is understanding the nature in general, and nature of things. And yoga is taking it in and integrating. No, it's a process, and you have to complete it. So yes, please do stretching. It's important, but with stretching, focus on your breath. Focus on being more in the nature, taking the goodness from nature, having your sensories being utilized, like use your eyes to look at good things. Maybe that little flower, maybe that little puppy on the street, listening to good music, getting a good feel, having good aromas, and this will fill your channels in with the elements, and it will take you long way.
That's so beautiful, because I love the analogy of the asana creating openness in the channels and that space, but then it is so important to be conscious and aware of what is going in that space.
That's right.
And that can be the food, or it can be all those, the energetic food,
Yes.
or the physical food. It's a holistic picture, isn't it?
That's
Rather
right.
than one thing being all that's needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to fill it in with good things. And if you're kind of opening the channels and just your attention goes on not so good things, it's in a way takes away from the goodness of the stretchings.
Yes. Beautiful. And I would love to ask, it's kind of digressing, we could have done this at the beginning, but for those who are still learning about Ayurveda and understanding, and perhaps very new to the science and comprehending something that can be so vast and is so extensive and endless, how would you, in a nutshell, describe what the science of Ayurveda really is to people who are trying to understand and come to it?
Veda has been, it's two words. Ayu means life, and Veda is the wisdom, or the wisdom. And that's the direct translation. But Ayurveda, for someone who doesn't know what it is, I would say it's just about learning who you are without the identity of your name, of your gender, of your caste, religion, taking all of those external things outside. Who you really are is Ayurveda.
Yes.
Right?
Beautiful. I love that. Yeah. I was reflecting on the way here, actually, that like Ayurveda is just that, is being authentic
Yes.
with yourself.
Yes.
Like just being really real.
It's being human.
Being human,
Yeah.
fully.
Fully.
Being
Without,
fully human.
without any of those
Yeah,
pre-assumptions
yeah.
that through centuries and generations we have collected and accumulated.
Yes.
Just shedding all of that and just looking directly into the purpose
Yes.
of this body, purpose of this
Yes.
spirit, purpose of this mind.
Yes. And then what you practice in your knowledge of the Ayurvedic medicine, that is looking after this body and this mind and this purpose. Like it's bringing balance back
That's right.
where balance is out, or enhancing that wellness journey.
That's right.
Yeah.
There are a lot of diseases out there. We know there are serious and severe diseases out there. There's so much that we need to know about the diseases. But what we know from Ayurveda is that before you venture out in knowing the diseases, it's very important to understand the body. And my personal practice, and with a lot of people that I work, that's where we bring the attention back to, is understand your body. Clinically, there are a lot of different ways and different approaches, and one might agree to one approach or to the another, and it's personal choices of taking it forward in the way of treatment plan. But what cannot change is that real understanding within you, and once that comes on the forefront, then the choices that you make for your treatments are also very relevant. Otherwise, you could be going back and forth with taking this remedy, that remedy, going in for this treatment, going in for that treatment, and still lost in your own care and treatments.
That makes sense. If you're not centered in yourself to begin with.
That's right. That's right.
So all over the place so easily.
Yeah.
Amazing. And what is it that, like I know you have a very interesting story of how you studied Ayurveda and have come to be doing what you're doing. And I would love if you would share with us a little bit about your journey of
Sure.
becoming a Vaidya.
Sure. I started at a very young age of 16. I was initiated by my guru, Dr. Lashpat Rai Mehra, who practices what is now called as neurotherapy, but it is a Nadi Vigyan or Nadi Mardan Kriya, which is a therapy based on the Nadi Vigyan. And that's how I started to understand that there is our body system, and there is so much deeper in this body than what we know of from being a 16-year-old, getting tonsillitis or getting a pimple or even breaking a bone. That, wow, this is a completely different world. So I got really interested, but coming from the family that I come from, they really wanted me not to just stay in a lineage but go out and get our official degree, and that's when I ventured out and became the Bachelor of Naturopathic and Yogic Sciences. And what I learned from my guru was something that I still practice. The degrees, I say, just give me a social status. So I always wanted to do more research on things that I've learned from my guru, and I wanted to do PhD. That was my goal at that time, but couldn't find much in India, so I ventured out and went to England, did my master's in complementary and alternative therapies, or what is called as the integrative medicine, then did the postmasters, and here I am in Canada, where I found that if I have to do the subtle energy work, we have to go back into the basics and fundamentals, and that is Ayurveda. So along the whole learning, Ayurveda was there with me. It never came to me in a degree form, but the whole learning and the science of Ayurveda and yoga was right from the time I started with my guru, and then learning the naturopathic and yogic sciences, doing my research in Indian medicine when I was in my master program, and understanding, wow, this is all the political differences that were created along the route of the history of medicine. There's nothing separation between Ayurveda and yoga, or what is called as the Indian naturopathic medicine or Prakriti Chikitsa. They all come from the same fundamental grounds. what we don't study in a curriculum, the difference between an Ayurvedic practitioner or a physician versus a naturopathic physician in India, is the pharmaceuticals, or what is called as the Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia. So that's something that we don't study, but what we study is the depth of the energetics, the depth of the physical body, how to treat the physical body without using much of the pharmacopoeias. So Ayurveda, that's why I say Ayurveda is the foundation. And Ayurvedic medicine is derived from Ayurveda because the way the medicine is practiced has become Ayurvedic medicine. But Ayurveda and yoga are inseparable.
Sister sciences.
Sister sciences, and they cannot be separated. And even with the Indian naturopathic medicine, you can't separate Ayurveda because the fundamentals are all the same. And there are other systems of medicine as well that comes from the subcontinent of South Asia, like Siddha medicine, the Tibetan medicine. Tibetan medicine is now getting very popular as well. But they all have the same roots.
Yeah, they're all from the same book, the same knowledge, the same
knowledge.
Yeah.
So whether you practice...
Same with Chinese medicine.
Same with Chinese medicine, and also I understand with Japanese medicine, the fundamentals are same. It's just that along, and of course it's centuries of history we are talking about. We're not talking about 100, 200 years of history. These medicines we are talking about centuries of history. So as we have evolved, the practice of medicine has changed.
Yes.
And it will keep on changing.
Yes.
But what will not change are the fundamental philosophies, the principles, the concepts, and the core theories.
Yes. Yeah, that's beautiful. And so my final question is, in this day and age, where there's a lot of different elements to life that weren't there 5,000 years ago or even 100 years ago. The world has changed so much in that amount of time, and every year it feels like things are changing in such big ways. And we have computers now, we have smartphones, there's so much interaction going on that's not physical actually.
Right.
But that's very mental.
Yes.
What is it that you see through your practice, and that you also see with doing what you do, that is the biggest thing that we need to, as a society and as a culture in this Western world, be most aware of and attentive to for our balance moving forward, being in harmony with this technology but not taken over by it?
Right. So a simple principle, again based on the Vedic sciences, is out of the 5 elements, what is important is the space element. And what we are doing right now, we are filling ourselves in with too much. And even if you look at 5 or 10 years back, I reflect on my own family. We just had one desktop and the whole family shared. And now one person could be having easily 3 of their own personal gadgets.
So true.
So we are filling up with definitely with this physical things, with a lot of attractions around us. We want to, there's a sale, we want to buy that extra dress. So health is very, very important, because health is a reflection of our mind. Even your physical health is a reflection of your state of mind. What is needed at this time for us to balance ourselves is to balance this space. And I always encourage people to go as simple as decluttering your own personal space.
Oh, that feels amazing.
Simplicity is the best policy.
Yes.
The food you simplify.
Yes, so the earth has been filled up so much. Yeah, and I love that, because I remember when I did my first couple of years of Ayurvedic study, one of the things I was most in love with about Ayurveda and fascinated by was the concept of our body being a microcosm of the macrocosm of the world and of the universe. And so, with what you just shared, like when we simplify our own selves, we come into balance, and then we're able to create balance in the planet through us being in balance.
That's right.
And that representation. Yeah.
Individually, take responsibility of ourselves, and that will then carry on collectively, and then to the planet, from planet to the galaxy, from galaxy to the universe, and that's the cycle of micro to macro and macro to micro.
Yeah, amazing. So we can do something for ourselves and for the planet, even though it can seem kind of like overwhelming. How do we make a difference? Or how do we, do that? But through our individual actions.
And start in a simple way. It need not be complicated and overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly. Simplicity. So the medicine for today is simplicity.
That's right. That's right.
So beautiful. Is there anything else you'd like to share with people watching right now about Ayurveda, about the science of simplicity before we finish?
That's a new definition. Ayurveda, the science of simplicity. That is actually true. And again, with Ayurveda's science of simplicity also goes yoga, which is an action of simplicity. So the behavior is also very important, and the gestures. So as simple as you can make those gestures and integrate the physical with the subtle, the food with the habits, that's going to bring back health. And those who are struggling in balancing themselves or are dealing with health challenging situation, do not give hope. That's my message for today. Do not give up hope. There's always, if there's a disease, there's a treatment. You just have to find the right one that works for you and that will help you.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. And if people would like to see you here in Toronto, they can find you at CAISH, the Centre for Ayurveda and Indian Systems of Healing. And you also teach and run programs here as well, don't you, for students to learn this science?
That's right. We have programs. We are one of the, I would say, first school that was set in a way to run curriculum programs in Canada. We have been around for 15 years, and the name is Center for Ayurveda and Indian Systems of Healing, which tells you it goes beyond Ayurveda, it goes into yoga, it goes into a lot of the ancient sciences and the practices of the medicine. And our programs are geared towards teaching the clinicals, the ancient concepts and authentic concepts, and tying it in with the energetics of the body. Thank you, Lorien, for giving me this opportunity, and I wish you all the best in your life.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nathani. I have to call you doctor.
Yes.
You're my doctor.
We are not allowed to be called so, but I'll take that from my Indian title.
Vaidya Nathani.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for spending time with us and for your knowledge, and I'm just so grateful that I've come across you as a female teacher sharing this wisdom with so much love that it's healing just being in your presence.
Thank you.
You can feel it. Thank you.